Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Uh, I have a feeling you guys might be here to watch some more of this amazing, incredible tournament because that's why I'm here. I can't get enough of it. SpeedGaming Live 2021, everybody. Are you sick of it yet? I hope not. But anyways, my name is one of those two numbers listed below Losers Round 2. You can pick which one you want it to be. I'm also joined by one of those people as well. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi. I'm just as excited as you, Act. There's no way I can get sick of this tournament. I mean, it has been non-stop emotions after roller coaster, after highs and lows, and I mean, maybe a couple tears were shed. I've definitely lost some of my future lifespan watching some of these races because they were just so intense and so close to call. We have actually just as exciting race here. We have Tam versus S&T. You said earlier, right? This is elimination match between two amazing runners, which means somebody is no longer going to be able to participate in the future rounds.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but yeah, this is a double elimination tournament, so when you see that it's losers round, we're not saying that they're losers because they are far from it. These are two excellent runners.
Dude, do you
It
see
just
that?
means that
Yeah,
that's what.
do you see? I mean, how can they be losers? I mean, S&T has this like gnarly cat tree like in the back. There's like no possible way, right?
Yeah, I think you were talking a little bit about that earlier, but yeah, we are speculating that he probably has like the most jacked cats on the planet because that's like a Planet Fitness behind him right there.
Dude, we're picking up some amazingly good things. Okay, so from at least Tam and catching up here on S&T side, we picked up Blue Mail already, and we picked up a mirror. We are gonna have, I mean, you know how normally in like NMG without the boots, you just have a sword. Your aim is like, sub 6, right? 555. With the boots, in SGL mode, a really, really good time is 5 escape flat. With that mirror, they're gonna be able to crush that time. They're probably gonna walk out with like a, like a 4, the mirror is gonna cut down like around a minute's worth of time. So I'm really expecting like somewhere like a little bit over like the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, no, the mirror is like probably the best time save of all time. And then like the second best time save would be like skipping all of the chests, but the ones that you need to open, but that is, it's a little difficult.
That would take some amazing courage and quite a position like 2 minutes into the sea because you don't really know what you're going to miss out on considering you've already got some pretty big ticket items. What else could this escape hold for us?
No, yeah, like we already got everything. Surely there's nothing else. I would also like to note that today we have a studio audience in the background, so if you hear any, cheering or loud noises coming from one of our microphones, it's just because they are cheering on these two runners and they're excited, so don't be alarmed at all if you hear any of those noises. And yeah, this race is so amazing. We not only have it on SpeedGaming 6 today, we also have it on SpeedGaming as well. So that's how hyped this race is, so definitely be glad that you're here.
So if this is like a double cast, does that mean we get to do average time between the two runners? Or the 4 runners, sorry, rather. Because there are 4 of them now, right?
Yeah, and like if that somehow changes things, then boy, it's gonna really bother me.
That is actually quite. Maybe we should consult tournament admins before we kind of make these kinds of calls like live on stream.
Nah, we'll just do it on the fly. What could go wrong? We know what we're doing, right?
Yeah, and, I mean, I was gonna say, you see them using the mirror already? Like, I mean, it's like, what better way to be able to just basically teleport yourself out from all the way down from the basement of the dungeon into like, let's get out now.
And definitely good on both of them for remembering to do it because, the mirror is not always like an item that you see here. So sometimes if you're just kind of going through the motions, like still warming up, trying to prepare for what the seed has to throw to you, and then all of a sudden, like, you already have to make a cognitive choice. Like, hey, I got mirror, I need to use that in escape. You might think it's like free. You've seen some people like walk out with mirror just because it's it,
Oh yeah. I mean, so you did mention. So this is elimination bracket. We are already in round 32. Like this isn't even like the first stage. I mean, this is a very high stakes match, right? I mean, you need to basically win this match against an incredible, formidable opponent in order to continue.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically been the whole entire tournament. 128 people started. Only one is going to finish. And there were no free matches. The community has evolved to the point of ridiculousness. You know, minor mistakes are now major mistakes. It is definitely a good time to be playing A Link to the Past Rando.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, the competition here. I mean, the skill ceiling, like, skill ceiling, skill average is, like, amazing, like, so far. I mean, it's grown so much.
Yeah, I mean, look at these guys. They just had a, you know, 420 escape. You know, I haven't seen Arier get a 420 escape in this tournament yet, so I guess he needs to work on his as well.
Oh man, you know what? We'll get right on that. SpeedGaming Live 2022, we are all ready for you.
He needs to go back to the practice room. Alright, well, we found 10 arrows to go with our single arrow that we found in the first chest of the game.
That is like, you know what, I'm not even gonna pretend whatever percent it is actually increased on our ammo here, but I'm sure it's gonna be a lot. Would be quite nice if we can actually find the one and only bow, though, so far, I think. I'm not actually sure we even got a map check from either of our runners.
Not that I've seen yet. That doesn't mean that it necessarily hasn't happened. And yeah, they don't need that bow yet. Let's just give them silvers, you know? Let's change their cosmetics, you know? Because silvers with no bow, that's basically just a palette swap for your arrow menu up there and nothing else.
Maybe at least it's actually fashion forward, right? You know, we did have the very change of clothes pretty early, so, you know, maybe this is gonna be somewhat intentional, right?
We got a palette swap seed. Let's do it, man. Yeah. Lost Woods, just filled with pieces of heart today. Hey, nice.
We do have some we have some nice bombs, yeah. So bombs are something going to be useful when we go into Kakariko, and you know, we don't end up know how to like farm anything extra. Looks like both runners are a little bit low on actual money, though. I mean, I think they should be able to find probably enough money to pay off Bottle Vendor. Certainly gonna hope that within, you know, Kakariko, you're gonna have a bit more direction, basically, after getting, I don't know, whatever teens of items here.
If they do need money, though, they can go back to the castle or back to Escape and kill the guards, because that was the money prize pack. I saw S&T farming it. I would say that that's probably not an optimal way to get it, but I'm just saying they do have options.
You know, judging by the rupee counts of S&T versus Tam, I don't really think S&T was very fruitful in his endeavors.
No, he saw them. He just didn't pick any of them up.
Oh, okay. So he's doing all the work basically for like none of the value. Got it.
Yeah.
We did find a glove, right? Is that what we have?
There was a glove there. So, yeah, we could probably Houlihan. That would be a little bit better. But, like, I don't know, man. Sometimes you just need to kill something.
Yeah.
So, and we also get a book as well. And a Master Sword.
We have a Master Sword? That's pretty impressive. Yeah, so but shoutouts today to our tracker today, Link Force. She is the one clicking the buttons and basically marking down everything that we may or may not have caught while we're trying to watch 2 people at once. Sorry, 4 people at once.
Yeah, definitely give them massive amounts of credit, because yeah, they are doing 4 times the amount of tracking today, because that's how math works.
That's right. So speaking of money, I guess we're not worried anymore, because we found 300 rupees in the well. Already putting that money into somewhat of a, I would say, a sunken investment. We can't even get a lot of love for our troubles.
Oh, I'm disappointed to see that. I think killing the snakes would have been more fun, but...
You know, there's also a 1 rupee pot under in Blind's Hut as well. I feel like, you know, they really wanted Zora money and they didn't want to go anywhere. You know, we've got money at home. Just have to come in and out, you know, a couple hundreds of times.
Yeah. We stole Sick Kid's marble today.
That
was a moon pearl.
I can see why Sick Kid is sick. Maybe that marble, you know, he was trying to, you know, be like S&T's cats and working out, but maybe he got too, like, you know, too greedy too early. So he, like, didn't start out small enough, and now that's why he's, like, bedridden. Because, you know, he needs to recover.
I hate to say that, that was a very good story, but, like, man, I was having trouble following it because we just found the mitts in the back of Tavern, and that's mitts and moon pearl in like 3 seconds.
We have a map check as well. We saw 3 crystals. Nothing really special about them, but Tam also gave us Dark World check, which I believe was probably more interesting because they had all of the rest of the pendants and the 5-6 crystals as well, but unfortunately we didn't get to choose this yet.
Yeah, and with the mirror in hand, like, we see both of them not going to check library and race game. They could just do that in the Dark World if they wanted to. So, yeah, we have,
Yeah.
like, everything open. Have a blast, guys. And just hope you don't skip something important early. You know, that's the...
You know, I do see Tam right now hopping into Sea House, and luckily for Tam, they ended up picking up, I guess, more bombs. At least get that peace of mind so that they don't have to, you know, skip anything early.
A little bit more of an extended map check on SuperNinTaylor's side, but 5-6 crystals are going to be at Pod and Ice Palace today, and that was a green pendant at Skull Woods, then pendants at Swamp and Mire.
Did you just see the Tam also picked up the flute shortly here? S&T will do that as well. I mean,
I said pendants at Swamp and Mire.
That's exactly why we got the flute so early. The game loves to give us pendant dungeon access immediately versus the crystal ones. Never mind, we just found a bow in Thieves Town. I guess we have a lot of options here.
All right, with that bow at 10 minutes and 5 seconds, we are in go mode.
Oh.
So.
You think maybe we want like a hammer or, you know, I don't know, something else to go with it as well?
Oh, do we need that?
Well, you know, I heard a lot of people yesterday were also searching for the hammer, S&T included. So, you know, I figured it would also apply to this team as well.
Oh, yeah. Man, yeah, yesterday was a bad day for Hammer. We had about 3 tournament races all happening at the same time, and we all got together and hung out in person because this is SpeedGaming Live 2021, right. and we watched those 3 races that happened last night, and like nobody could find the hammer. And I mean, it sucked for them, but boy, we were laughing.
Hopefully that's not going to be the case today. You know, as someone from maybe a bit more personal experience, Ack or Clearmouse, whichever one you are, I will not judge. Late hammer, especially in early mid-seed, it can be good because it really does limit the number of spots. In this case, the hammer can be, right? Because hammer locks a bunch of areas. However, trying to figure out where your hammer is can certainly lead to some awkward routing, not to mention some unfortunate spots. For example, like, you know, first chest of Swamp.
Ice Palace, yeah,
Ice Palace,
Swamp.
yeah, these are real
Misery
great
Mire.
options.
I mean, it can get real nasty looking for just the hammer.
Especially if you have to try and do that in the Dark World, right? Because you have your one and only portal that we saw these runners both take, you know, at like the 5-minute mark, sorry, 8-minute mark or something, right? And in order to get, let's say, Hype Cave, which is a pretty, you know, standard spot for most people to like to go to, you're gonna have to basically just scout out like the entire south and loop over.
Right. Yeah. And it just normally in the hammer hunts too, like when you're wrong, you're wrong. That's where it hurts.
that is a very true statement. I like your tautology. Did you, man, I mean, like, the amount of stuff that people are able to do here, you know, we already see, you know, S&T putting that mirror to use with, and picking up basically, like, the smiths immediately.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, Tam is just like, hey, man, you know what? Crystal Dungeon, 15 minutes in, don't mind if I do. Boy, I wish I was keeping track of items now that we've seen that small key.
That small key is, it can be a bit concerning. I guess we're gonna have to see whether or not blind drops an item. Hopefully the answer is yes, but yeah, this is kind of another danger in this case. If you come in here with no hammer and mitts, because you do run the risk, potentially, of leaving an item in the big chest, and that is not a good feeling at all.
But if there's nothing in the big chest, then who cares? It's a time save.
It's one of those delayed gratification type of things.
But we definitely know we've seen at least one item in there, because we did find that bow. And then, yeah, after, if it's not progression, then it's hard for, you know, our progression-oriented brains to keep track of things. We see a green rupee, it's forgotten about in like 2 seconds. And there's an item on blind. I don't know, maybe we're good. But, like, maybe we're good regardless.
Yeah. I mean, I think that means the map or compass has to be in the big chest. That's what I want to say, because we have the last item here.
Well, I mean, unless we found the map.
Oh, I guess we found everything else. Never mind. All right, maybe, you know, by the time the S&T goes back there, assuming he does go back to the Crystal Dungeon, and, you know, clears it as part of those C's requirements, we're gonna be able to get some confirmation.
And we'll be sure to pay attention whenever he goes back. And by the way, we
of course. Speaking of, though, looks like actually Entity ended up getting our final bottle that we could carry out of the purple chest. Not going to be necessary specifically for progression, because I think we already did check Sekid, because he had our, big moon pearl that he couldn't handle at first. But in this case, another bottle is always going to be pretty good for safety. Because they always come empty, you do have to make a conscious decision whether or not, or when, if ever, you're going to end up filling it in with something like a safety or a potion or anything like that.
And yeah, no bow in hand from SuperNinTaylor. He elected not even to dip his toes into Thieves Town, so he might be waiting for the hammer, but that does not mean that hammer cannot be behind that bow, because, the hammer locks the big chest and I guess blinds. Maybe upstairs too? Man, I don't... It's hurting my head now that I'm thinking about it. I'm still drinking coffee. But, like, if you're waiting for, the hammer to show up and it's behind the bow, you're gonna be in for a rough time this seed.
Yeah, well, Ak, if you do have a hammer, or sorry, hammer, if you have a headache, ST did find the ice drops, and maybe you could, cool your head down a little bit,
Oh.
Really nice prize that we do see actually, in fact, Turtle Rock is a crystal. That is an extremely good piece of information, or item, in order to find so early, so we don't have to necessarily go on that ice rod hunt for the seed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that ice rod is actually kind of huge, because then we're, looking at fire rod, cane, hammer, and a medallion, I guess. But yeah, just going through the motions here, seeds can definitely get real zany whenever you get this Dark World access so early. We'll have to see what they're going to do. I assume S&T had checked these checks over here. I think I was just like so excited with all the options available. I did not recall. Nice early tempered sword from SuperNinTaylor as well. And then yeah, kind of more of a standard thing. He doesn't want to be leaving anything like too openly available, like in all of these checks, because it really hurts when you get like this Dark World access early, and then maybe you start getting access to crystals. But when your last go modes, excuse me, when your last go mode item's just chilling here in like mini Moldorm Cave, and you check it extremely late, it's never, you're never really feeling too good about that.
Yeah, imagining coming here and like Sphere 1 or Sphere 0 checks in the light world at like, like the 40-minute mark. And then just finding, like, oh yeah, here's my hammer. I probably could have had this little bit.
Oh man, yeah, I could have had that forever.
Yeah. Although it looks like though S&T also did find a tempered sword. That is, especially so early in the seed, we've got some really comfy execution ability now. Yeah,
blue mail and tempered sword before you like, even step foot in a dungeon, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in this case, okay, so Tam ended up killing Blind, pretty early. I don't actually know how many hits Blind takes. Ak, maybe you could help me out.
Nope.
Depending on the sword. But other than that, yeah, they haven't basically killed any of the bosses that actually require, or would be really nice, right, to be able to have an upgraded sword or two.
Yeah. And he'll probably get it like sooner than later too. I think they're probably, I would say they're doing like exactly the same route almost. It's just one did Thieves Town and one didn't.
That is interesting, actually. So Tam ended up talking to Stumpy and getting another bottle. Did S&T not talk to Stumpy? Because he definitely got one out of the purple chest.
Right. Well, that's no. He did. He fluted to take the purple chest in. He did not.
Oh.
He did not. He did it before he went south.
Interesting. Got it. So okay. So we just got confirmation then, right? That Tam ended up carrying purple chest. So that was actually our third bottle.
Yes.
How cute. Yeah, actually, so with the early book, this is actually some pretty good routing on Tam's side. Never mind the rupee count. We are going to figure out what exactly is in this combo tablet. Tam, in this case, is not isolating anything.
See, there you go. Don't mind the rupee count, because it's
it's
been obsoleted.
Could have been another bottle, actually, for all we know. We were just never going to find this out.
That's okay. Alright, so early flipper checks here from S&T. you do have the option to perhaps do this with Catfish. However, it's a little bit awkward for him because he doesn't have the easiest way to get over to the Dark World on this side with his current loadout. Tam, on the other hand, with that bow, he can actually set up a little Ancilla nonsense, and then he can, he could go over to do the Dark World in tandem.
I have actually seen some people to set up like a water walk from Skull Woods, if that is, you know, of interest, but it is still pretty far. Like, I mean, but I guess it's still possible for S&T, right? But he has to basically kind of like plan pretty far ahead for that. Tam is actually doing a pretty good job as well. I mean, like, the route is actually being pretty efficient by trying to basically use the mirror as much as they possibly can in order to try and cover, like, Light and Dark World together. No flippers, unfortunately, means that even though Tam was able to combine South Shore and the Dark World and the Light World together, they unfortunately still could not check, like, the first chest of Swamp.
That's fine, who cares?
It's not like the hammer could be there, right?
Well, I mean, it could, but we're a ways away from that. SuperNinTaylor resetting his mushroom, maybe thinking about doing some shenanigans later.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you know, we have certainly seen Powder appear pretty dang late in a pretty not good spot in terms of progression or logic, but the item from Magic Bat could certainly make or break our seed.
And although it does seem like it's really efficient to do like Light and Dark World with the mirror, I do think you have diminishing returns when you add all of those extra like mirror transitions in there. But like, boy, I could not even begin to tell you like what's the magic number of like how many you should do and when you should do it and where you should do it. But like, I was just saying, I don't think it's like as simple as like, hey, yeah, just do these and then mirror do these. I feel like there's definitely some optimization to be had there that, you know, we haven't collectively figured out yet, in my opinion. At least I haven't figured it out.
Well, you know, maybe we can start, you know, simple, right? So do you think it's 9 or not 9? For a number of mirror transitions, this could be optimal.
I have no idea. All right, we got a Meyer check over here. Quake is going to be required for Meyer, so if you are any of these two runners, you're hoping never to see that the entire seat because it's a pendant, and pendants are icky.
Yeah, not only that, it's not even the green pendant, so it is only just 2 items in there. We even haven't found like a fire source that came to Samaria, so I mean, even if we do find Quake, we can't go in, but then it seems almost even worse, right? Because it's not like you could actually get locked out like pretty early, and it's just like you then just basically wasted a bunch of time trying to get into Meyer to begin with.
Yeah. But then again, like, you go in there and you find, say, like, Hammer in the first chest, you know what? No, I don't feel so bad about it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just like when you go visit, like, Pendant Ice Palace, I mean, not particularly this seed, right? But it's like, and then you find the Hammer in the first chest, you're like, man, I am a genius for doing this, but then at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, like, what a terrible location for it.
It's true, it's true. But yeah, none of that really on the table quite yet. Tam has options because, you know, Eastern is a crystal, and, like, he could go in there and clear Eastern Palace, and, like, the only decision you're really going to have to make is, like, do I want to skip the vanilla big key chest if there's a chance of, you know, nothing being there? Outside of that, it's a pretty straightforward dungeon.
Yeah, and, you know, of course, it certainly depends on where that big key is in terms of, like, logic. You know, the runners do not have a lamp currently, so Eastern Palace, in theory, could be lamp locked, and certainly it's going to be fire rod locked at the minimum. But, you know, at this point of the tournament, like, we've got, I mean, there is, like, I have every confidence in both these runners that they're going to be able to navigate, at the very minimum, Eastern Dark Rooms.
S&T made my heart stop a little bit there as he lifted up those rocks, but he was just clearing a path over to Yagina.
Yeah.
I was like, please, brother, don't go in there, man. You don't want to go in there. You're not going to like what you find.
Yeah, I feel like, I was gonna say, like, I do feel like it's somewhat of like a, you know, rite of rando passage or whatever is for you to go to the back of Desert Palace without a fire source, and then realize you don't have a fire source, and then have to, you know, well, ideally you have the mirror, right? And at least you can mirror out, but yeah.
Yeah, we've definitely all done it. I mean, that's just the quirks of Rando, you know? We get all these items in weird, wonky orders, you know, and different combinations will allow you to do different things, so sometimes it's easy to slip up and have a little brain fart. S&T going over the mountain, though, too, that was the other thing, too. Like, Crystal Hera, I mean, that could be clearable and also completely illogic.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. So what S&T of course is doing right now is that the fact that we can't see anything. He's risking the old man. It's certainly not going to be a logic, but yes, as you said, Ack, with that mirror and the flute, right, we can basically clear right up to Hera, and then well, right, depending if it's fire lock, maybe we can't get it, especially with the hookshot, but it is going to be another option for us on the table. And for all we know, right, there's just like a lamp sitting in Hera as like the first chest.
yeah. Or hookshot.
Or
yeah, the second.
Oh my
big
gosh, yeah. Oh man, dude. I mean, while Herapod has certainly sped up the tower climb significantly, man, SGL, I don't know, is trying to like counter Herapodders because so many instances where there's something left in the basement of Hera, or there was like the big key in the basement, and like the item is in the big chest. We just found a hammer. Hopefully, S&T looks like he is going to employ his boots in order to try and get the hammer the fast way.
And that is much faster. He saves probably like 10, 15 seconds, maybe a little bit more by doing that hover. But like, boy, when you fail it, you fall down and you have to walk all the way up the mountain and you feel really dumb. But he is like, this is, loser's bracket elimination match. He's ready to game. And that's a game and hover right there.
He did it front and back, right? I mean,
yes,
pure confidence right there.
When you get the front one, you don't like you obviously want to get the hover back too because that's a time save. But like when you have that hammer like in your hands, you don't worry too much if you fail the second one.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I lost a little time there, but whatever. I'll just go back up. But yeah, that's a hammer on Death Mountain, and that unlocks all of East Death Mountain too.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially, right, so, like, let's see if we get Firelocked out of Hera first, but as you said, the fact that we have the mirror, we have the hammer, we have the mitts, like, we can do pretty much everything here on Death Mountain. Unsure right now if, well, okay, so I don't think Spike Cave is technically logic, just because we don't have an invisibility item yet, but I also don't know if they can even have enough health at this point.
I think if they had 2 potions, they would be able to get through it, but they don't.
Yeah.
and they would have to go get them.
Yeah, I guess, we do have, like, umpteen checks, right, waiting for us in the mountain, so maybe Spike Cave will be, one of those, like, last, stops that we end up making after we're finished with this entire area.
Maybe we just don't do it. Maybe
or, you're right, it's, there have definitely been times where you basically just find everything that you need, not even visiting the mountain.
So that hammer too, if SuperNinTaylor was putting off doing Thieves Town because he was waiting for the hammer, this will work out nice for him because we do have that hammer now. That'll get him his bow. He does need that to finish the seat. The other like slightly interesting thing I think off the top of my head, this is a hypothetical outlier. Tam is pretty much hard isolated hammer pegs, whereas SuperNinTaylor kinda has, but not necessarily as much.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was something like important there, say Fire Rod or Medallion or whatnot, like I would imagine you would see SuperNinTaylor getting that first, but
Yeah, no, this is certainly a good point because S&T also saves come to his mushroom too, right? So he does have actually another incentive to go over there potentially. I mean, we don't have the cane of Samaria right now anyway, but I mean that is going to be potentially another option for him. If he ends up finding the cane, he can also combine that with hammer pegs as well.
I also believe we saw both dungeon items, so I think that there's an item in the basement.
Well, if there is, S&T is not going to visit or at least get it for the time being.
That's why you go to Hera when you don't have a fire source, because then you don't even have to make the decision. It's already been made. Your conscience is clear when you leave Hera with no fire source, because there's nothing you can do.
That's right, and there's no sense in worrying about something that's beyond your control. We are going to get a sneak peek today at what Turtle Rock's medallion is going to be.
Not going to be able to open it, unfortunately. It is Bombos.
Alright, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that medallion. So maybe S&T will explore the rest of this mountain. Speaking of, Tam has actually found the powder here in
Okay.
the big chest.
So that was also like the counter to my hypothetical, where it's like Tam does have powder though, so maybe if he gets the powder soon, he could go and not isolate hammer pegs. But I mean, like hammer pegs could have nothing too. I'm just throwing
I
kooky
mean,
things that might exist.
cookies? I mean, the whole point of, in this case, of this, randomizer is that we want to try and go to where the items are. But in this case, you have
Yes.
to keep your options open. All right, S&T, he is here in Hookshot Cave. You can observe that while he picked up the silvers from the one and only logical accessible chest in Hookshot Cave, because you can actually get there through boots, with bonking, he is not going to be deterred by any amount of gaps between him and the next set of chests in this case.
Yeah, he's definitely showcasing his willingness to do these hovers and get these checks.
I mean, he has his hovering shoes on today, Ak. I mean, just look at, not only are they, consistent, he's actually doing them really fast. Like, that is, certainly very impressive.
Yeah, you definitely see some people that have to warm up their gears, a little bit, stretch, get in a different posture, but he had very fluid transitions.
You think he has like a cat tree equivalent of whatever his cats have in the background,
To practice his hovering?
Yeah,
I don't know what that would look like, but my imagination is going wild.
Is this RC first check over to Hachilo? It is a pretty terrible, although it looks like the S&T ended up finding a necessary key, actually, that we had just spotted earlier on Dark Death Mountain.
We are man, closing in on go mode so fast. This is getting a little absurd.
Yeah.
So that's the one medallion that we know we're gonna have to have.
So
yeah,
actually, we did see the bow right out of Thieves Town from Tam's side.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we do need a fire rod because we do see that at least our rock is crystal, right? So we're gonna need that. Do we need anything else, Ak?
We would presumptuously need Samaria, but that would definitely depend on how willing they are to do the most absurd hovers you've ever seen.
Holy cow! S&T, maybe all of these hovers are just warm-ups for him because he covered a couple tile gaps for. I mean, it's just you just have to do that for a little bit longer in order to get through the rest of Trevor Rock, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just say it's that simple.
That is crazy, actually, because I mean, if the seed is actually really going to be knock on whatever Hyrule Wood, this generous, I mean, we already found the bow, which actually could be pretty elusive because there is only the one bow. But if you're really just Fire Rod and Samaria, I mean, those items do lock out some amount of things. So potentially, hopefully, it's going to show up sooner rather than later.
Yeah. And then basically, Pod we haven't seen that yet there, so that will definitely probably be on SuperNinTaylor's palette as well.
Oh yeah, very much so, because he's here in Pod, he's gonna pick up his bow right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's even here in Thieves Town.
No surprise though, Tam is on their way to Death Mountain as well, so they will most certainly be getting their hammer. And, collectively opening up Death Mountain. We'll see how they feel about, Hookshot Cave and all of that.
So, do you think the lamp's gonna show up before we hit go mode?
Silvers were in the Hookshot Cave? How did I miss that?
Yeah, Silvers were in the first chest. Yeah. I mean, the rest of Hookshot Cave was pretty humdrum. Yeah, but and the one thing in logic in that case was actually a silver arrow. So at the very minimum, S&T and Tam are going to be on the same footing in terms of archery skills.
They're also on the same footing because these settings that we have at SpeedGaming Live, we start with boots. So everybody gets a pair of boots.
All 4 runners in our case today are going to start on the same footing because they have the same set of boots. Give or take.
Tim? Finding out they have a hammer waiting for them?
Yeah, also very glad to see that Tam ended up surviving Death Mountain. I mean, because they are on 1 heart, and it's, I mean, they ended up rescuing the old man, which at least they have a saving quick point if something terrible does happen, but, you know, facing an opponent like SuperNinTaylor on the round, basically loses round 2 as an elimination match, right, from a pretty lucrative cash money prize at the end for SGL is probably not something that you want to try and lose time over.
They are so concerned about their health right now. They're actually doing a bomb jump on the way across
Wow,
over because
you know
we have
what?
blue mail.
That's
So
actually a very good point.
you speak all of this about concerns, but when you do a bomb jump like that, no problem. We got no concerns. Don't worry
Tam
about
is
it.
not concerned.
Only went for 2 of the bushes too to see if we could get the fairy.
I was gonna say that actually Tam is actually among, you know, all of their basically skills. Like they play, actually they used to play a lot more spoiler stuff. So the fact that they are actually like quite accustomed to lower or low-ish percent. This is probably right around their comfort zone. And look at that, just, you know, such a nice heart refill right as we're gonna enter in Tower of Hero.
So we are seeing the point in the rando seed where the one person kind of does what the other person had already done. Is to be expected. I couldn't even tell you who would be ahead at this point. It kind of looks... It looks very close right now.
Yeah.
We have, you know, Hammer on SuperNinTaylor's side, so that opens up some other opportunities for him. Like he was able to get that compass in Thieves Town that Tam will, they will probably never see, and like they saved time because they didn't do that. That's, you know, a couple of rooms.
Yeah, and right now I think the major difference, at least between Tam and S&T, after they kind of end up, you know, S&T does Eastern Palace there, is S&T end up, I think, doing maybe a little bit more overworlds? Because I want to say that Tam's going to walk out of Hera faster than S&T's going to finish up Eastern. But Tam's going to have to make another trip over to the Pod Eastern area in order to clear out Pod, which, as S&T, with that hammer and the bow he just found, he's going to be able to only make one trip over there.
Yeah, I feel like, man, did they do the same overworld checks?
I thought S&T maybe did a little bit more. I know that Tam did.
But what? What do you do?
Trying to think.
Like Hobo was the only one I could maybe think of, but I'm not even quite sure if they both did that. And Mushroom, yeah, it seems very, very close and very similar so far.
Alright, where is S&T? Oh, S&T, hey, I've got the hammer. I'm going to do hammer pegs right now.
It's kind of funny that he's going to do this because it's like, you know, potentially orphan location for Tam, but then also like, I don't know, if you've already done hammer pegs, maybe powder looks like nasty to you whenever you just get it in Eastern. You're like, I want to go back over there. So
yeah, that is certainly true. You're right. Actually, so in this case, like because Tam ended up finding the powder from Eastern Palace, they're gonna have a lot more incentive to come back because there are 2 items here instead of 1, and that is actually like a pretty big difference. Alright, speaking of, we've got 2 more crystal dungeons that are fully clearable on S&T side, with Pod Eastern, with that bow, well actually, with Silver's no less, and the hammer that we just ended up getting from Death Mountain, so why not? Let's go to another crystal dungeon, and hopefully we're gonna find, in this case, like, we're gonna find the Cadence Maria, and or the Fire Rod.
Fire Rod would be very nice to find in Pod. Notably, there will be rooms that are dark in Pod, and we have no way to light them up.
You are correct, especially in the basement, where there are lots of turtles that would like to say hi to you.
They hunt you down, they bite your ankles.
Dude, those, you know, despite them being turtles, they move so fast. Like, have you ever seen, like, I don't know, they must be, like, angry, or I guess they're hungry. That's what they're hungry.
What's crazy is they moved. You can quote me on this. I am 100% certain I'm correct about this. They move like 5 times faster when there's no lights in that room.
You know what?
If you can't see them, they turn on turbo mode. I promise you.
you know, I guess like if you turn the lights on, then people can like see them basically, you know, using like their resources to their fullest advantage, right? So you really can't have that happen.
SuperNinTaylor going into pod first. It's the most efficient of the two.
Because you get to save the mirror transition? Is that?
Yeah, you get to save like one extra screen. But, you know, maybe if like the lamp was just chilling in Eastern, then, you know, doing Eastern first would end up saving you time because you might, you know, do those dark rooms a little bit slower because you can't see where you're going. Or the skill ceiling is so high in this community now. Like I've been watching people do those dark turtle rooms, and I swear it's like they're not even fazed by it anymore. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, at this point, I almost feel like we are, I don't know, like almost like taking some of the things for, like some of the difficulty for granted, just because like we see all the top runners and like, as you said, skill ceiling is so high, basically just do them so well, so you just kind of forget how impossible like those rooms actually are. It's just like you try them and it's like once something goes wrong, like many things go wrong, because if you only knock down like 4 or 3 of the turtles, like you have no idea where the others are. And as you said, they move 5 times faster because you can't see anything, and then you are dead very quickly.
Sam electing not to hover hook shot cave. So yeah, silvers were the first item there, so everything else was junk. You got the best chest out of there, and then you left.
I guess I'm kind of curious to see, because so we do know that Swamp is a pendant, so we don't need the hookshot necessarily in order to get another crystal, but we are going to have to get past the Moldorm 2 gap at some point.
There's a variety of ways to do it.
There are. I guess I'm curious. Well, so based on what we've seen on S&T side, you know, the confidence level for him to get past that gap is pretty high. I certainly imagine Tam is also capable of similar things. I'm not sure if they have, I guess, like more gadgets, I guess, in their arsenal. You know, for example, if they wanted to like bounce over.
I'm fairly certain they can do both.
This is where the skill ceiling is, by the way. I mean, it's just like ever so slightly we get basically more and more capable runners basically able to, you know, based on their execution, able to basically get past more obstacles. It's really impressive, basically, to see all this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and as it should be too. I mean, more people play, you know, the more people that get practice, the more competitive things get, and like, the better people get. That's just how a gaming competition works.
You know, especially actually the fact that this is, you know, SGL. We've already seen the competition in this tournament, you know, be so high. I mean, and also like this is a pretty high stakes tournament. There is a very lucrative cash prize at the end. I think the cash pool total is around
$1 million.
$1 million.
We will be giving out $1 million to the winner of SpeedGaming Live 2021.
I mean, it's like they're even, you know, normally like people play, I guess, you know, for just for competition, but in this case, we've got, as you said, $1 million, give or take. We are expert mathematicians. Don't quote us on that.
You also get one certificate that allows you to redeem 1 unit of Herfy Durfy's Love and Affection.
Oh, dude. Where can I sign up for this, Ak?
I mean, it's you might the SpeedGaming 2022. I don't know if you know that prize is going to be on the docket there, but because I don't want to continue this conversation, we found Kane in pod here, and closer and closer to go mode, and by that I mean like literally 1 item.
Yeah, no, I mean this is actually turning out to be like an extremely fast seed, or at least seemingly, right? I mean, so while we did end up finding the King before the Fire Rod, which, you know, is not necessarily the ideal situation. It's not like, you know, in this case we have much of a choice. We just decided to, you know, go to where we can find like the next item. The good news, however, is that the Ice Rod showed up so early. So right now, because we are only in Fire Rod Go mode, we can actually limit some of the places that we have to go look.
But because we're like only looking for the Fire Rod, does that mean that there is, you know, no nasty places that Fire Rod can be?
I didn't say that. But it is certainly a much better situation than if you're searching, let's say, for the Ice Rod as your last possible item that you would like to have before you end up completing the scene.
Right, of course. I was just telling nobody to Yeah, don't go anywhere. Yeah, just because we're
Oh
looking for
no,
the fire.
for
Don't
sure,
don't
for
think
sure.
it's over by a minute. There's a lot of dirty places it can be. Man, one I'm thinking of off the top of my head. If it's in that first chest of turtle rock, yeah, I would not be happy about
Oh,
that.
dude. Yeah, anywhere in the Turtle Rock or Turtle Rock vicinity, would be pretty awful because you would really like to have the fire rod before you go in. So, I think it's also logically possible a fire rod is a mimic cave because you can make it all the way to Laser Bridge, right? Without, like, just by sequencing
It
of
depends on
keys.
what the keys are. By the way, do you
Yeah.
see what's going on SuperNinTaylor's side here? Because I don't. And
No, I can't because we don't have a fire rod. I thought that's what we were looking for.
he
Based on some of the audio noises, though, I'm a little bit worried of S&T. Oh, but never mind. We heard the door jingle, which means that he basically just be able to get through Dark Turtles. This is what we're talking about. Can't see a dang thing, but, you know,
I mean,
suddenly 6
we're
turtles
on
are dead.
1.5 hearts here. He still has to go through this hallway as well. It's very hard not to get clipped as well. We have no safeties to boot. He is checking. Okay, you know what? That is a way to put a little RFID chip on these turtles so you can see where they are. I think he
That is
might have flipped them
amazing.
over again.
Oh dear. Oh
You
no.
gotta just
Oh
go,
no. Go.
just
Oh my
hold up.
gosh, dude.
Well, we're
You
gonna
know.
have a very interesting helmet fight on his side.
Oh my gosh, dude.
You,
Alright, we found another turtle. Holy cow. Good, thank you, Blue Mail, by the way. This is at least giving S&T a fighting chance. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. I think he's through. Oh no.
that's very
Oh,
unfortunate.
that is...
That's a very painful death by him. He wanted to play it a little safe, and like I think that actually ended up killing him because if he would have just held up, he would have made it through that room without dying. But he would have had, a little bit less health for Helmasaur. But like, you were going to be going into Oko Helmasaur pretty much regardless.
Yeah, that is... And this, I think, also maybe comes back to, part of, I would say, the consequence of SGL modified heart item pool, right? So we ended up finding,
Tam
in
had
this
a
case...
wonderful dark room there. He did that like they did that magnificent. It was a really good one. It was like they had the lamp.
Yeah, you can also see, by the way, this is also, I would say, a difference. So S&T, as you said earlier, like, maybe he was just trying to take things a bit more safely, right? Because he was only on 1.5 hearts. There is actually, I would say, also, like, a mental, like, psychological difference between, like, if you're worried about dying, you suddenly don't kind of resort back to what you're more, I would say, like, comfortable with. Even if the comfortable strats, like, you end up not taking any damage, right? And so, by the fact that you're playing more conservatively means you're kind of changing things, and actually could be, ended up getting you more dangerously. But Tam, you just see Tam flying through basically that second hallway and like cleaning up Helmasaur here.
Yeah, that will definitely make this an uphill battle for SuperNinTaylor, especially if the seed kind of stays on this linear track. So, if you're a fan of SuperNinTaylor, you're really hoping that fire rod is somewhere nasty because it's very unfortunate, but he lost a lot of time there, and like he spent a long time in the first Dark Turtle rooms. I swear I watched him kill them like one at a time. But I mean that again, that's just the skill ceiling where we're at. This is SpeedGaming Live. We are expecting the best out of our runners, and doing that room in the dark and doing it that well. I mean, right now that is the difference in this race.
Yeah, I mean, especially against an opponent like Tam. And Tam, I mean, especially today, they are certainly playing very well, but they're not giving S&T like really any room in this case to come back from. Like everything has been like very tight on Tam's side. Alright, though, we do see Tam here in Ice Palace, which is actually our next clearable crystal dungeon thanks to that nice Bombos medallion we found on Dark Death Mountain. We don't have the flippers. We can see that flippers are merely a suggestion in order to enter in this dungeon.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that check engine light. It's like it's there, but it's like, you know what? You can just kind of ignore it, because we can work around it.
A nice utility there, getting those pin gators killed. That bomb usage, that's pretty slick. But yeah, showing off a very clean icebreaker too makes this dungeon way more manageable. Really hoping that, you know, the good old meme that there's always going to be a either Bombos or Fire Rod hanging out in Ice Palace.
Would you feel better or worse if you found the lamp here? I guess maybe a lamp won't necessarily do anything for you, but it is a fire source. So we could go back to desert.
It depends. Like if I found the Fire Rod on desert, I'd feel pretty good about it.
Alright, looks like Tamla was trying to end up getting down a stair clip, but couldn't end up quite getting it. Actually,
and look how upset they got when they missed it. That's how you know you're a speedrunner.
That's how you know, like, how experienced you guys are. I mean, you know, these are. They're, normally, it's just like, the first time, doesn't matter how slow it is, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I finally got it, this looks so cool, and then it's like, you know, you get it so many times, and now you're just at the point of frustration, and you end up not getting it, like, perfectly. Was that all 3 items, by the way, in Ice Palace?
I feel like I've seen 2.
Okay, maybe this is why Tam is needing to head over to Iced Tea.
They still did need the small key, which.
Oh, okay. So,
but,
so is the
maybe they did find. Yeah, no, they did find 3. I forgot about the cape.
Oh, okay, okay. So we're just gonna go basically straight down to Cold Stair. Alright, S&T finished up Eastern Palace. He ended up picking up his powder. Looks like actually he's opted to not finish up Pod for the time being. It's fine, you know, because going back to Pod here is just a flute 5 away, and actually looks like what S&T is doing is actually very intelligent, especially for him. He is going to pick up a couple potions, so he really minimizes the amount of opportunities that he can. He has to end up taking an unfortunate death.
Yeah, well, it's more of like kind of a feels bad moment because you're. Maybe if you were trying to save the time of not doing that, but you died, and like, would have been like, well, if I was gonna spend this time anyways, I wish I would have done it before.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, like, also I think part of playing a race and part of having so much tournament experience is that you know when to cut your losses. You basically still have to play right to your best.
Oh yeah,
even
no, absolutely.
After you take probably not in the best mental state after you get an unfortunate death.
So where's the fire gonna be?
Apparently, well, I was gonna say Ice Palace, but Tam didn't find it in Ice Palace, and I trust Tam's abilities to find things in dungeons, so I guess we're gonna have to look somewhere else.
Okay, this might be like a pyramid and Big Bomb, and perhaps Catfish. I'm not sure if that's been checked.
I don't believe we've seen Catfish on either side. Just like the way that the scene had kind of progressed and given them their items, one of the, I would say, like, more, relatively speaking, popular locations, if you have only missed access for Dark World, you know, for example, like Pyramid or Catfish, are usually, have been less visited. Just because we got the hammer, I guess, on the earlier side, relatively speaking, for these types of seeds.
Man, Fire Red being on this Pyramid Ferry would be really nice for Tam, but also I would have a lot of questions of where all the other items are in this seed. Setting up the bomb dupe here, dashing across the screens, making sure that they make it to the end here with 0 seconds left. As long as you transition with 0 on the timer, your bomb will magically come back to you.
That's how it works in real life. I just wish we had a countdown for every single thing that followed me, and
yeah,
so I could just duplicate it.
We don't have the countdown in the upper right corner of the screen in real life, so it makes eyeballing it a little bit more difficult.
Well, I guess we could have just gone and bought more bombs, you know, from the bomb guy, instead of actually, like, buying the big bomb from the bomb guy, trying to open up this new location, and then only getting 6 bombs for our troubles.
Yeah, he actually, like, tricked us into doing his work and opening his supply chain back up, so he can now run his shop proper.
Yeah, I feel like we just got scammed. Alright, speaking of, though, looks like Tam, potentially some more scams. At least this one's gonna be free. We are going to go visit our other friend that lives under the sea.
It's hardly free, man. You know how long it takes to walk over
here?
Time is money. Time is money. This is a race.
Yeah, I mean, Tam must be hopefully feeling pretty good, though. I mean, they've done a lot of good things, and it does seem like wherever they have gone, whether, you know, they have basically found some progression, right? Or made more progress towards clearing out their crystal dungeons.
Yeah, I mean, they have most certainly like played super well.
Wow.
Yes,
Oh my
flippers is
gosh,
definitely the
dude.
item you're not looking for this seed, but
No. Oh man. All right. Okay. So we know that logically speaking, we did need to find the flippers at some point because we do know that Ice Palace or Cold Stare had dropped a crystal, so that was going to be our logical access in. However, there is nothing that precludes, let's say, another pendant dungeon that has 6 items that also requires some flippers in order to get into. That we really just don't want to ever set foot in the scene.
all right. Fire Rod going to be hanging out over here on the Magic Bat. Let's find out.
Oh
That
my
is
gosh!
indeed a Fire
Holy
Rod.
cow! That is an amazingly good chain. That Eastern Palace dip to find the powder leading to the Fire Rod. Tam is in go mode at like 54 minutes. Wow.
They don't look happy about it either, and I can
I wonder why.
understand maybe
Really?
why. I mean, you know, we know something they don't. We know that they are in a commanding lead right now, given, you know, SuperNinTaylor's death. And then, again, SuperNinTaylor also has to make his journey over there to the Magic Bat as well. But I can see why, because who had that powder so early? He did that, or they did the Eastern Palace. That was like their first crystal, right?
Oh, I think Tam maybe second because Tam ended up doing
Oh, Thieves,
Freestyle.
right. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was
but
so early. So
yeah,
he
but
had
you're
it.
right. Yeah,
They
it
had it
wasn't very
forever.
early. Yeah. And they end up getting actually hammer. Well, okay, sorry. Well, they had the mirror for sure out of escape, right? And the fact that then they ended up getting the bow pretty early means that they did have access to magic that. But wow, man. Yeah, that's actually gonna be a really good question. And actually, especially for S&T, who has actually already done hammer pegs. When is he gonna go over to magic bat in this case to get his fire rod? Because I mean, we were talking about how Tam potentially could isolate hammer pegs, right? Because you know they ended up doing Thieves Town first, and then it ended up going out to Dark Death Mountain, or Death Mountain in this case, getting their hammer. Tam ended up going right back to Magic Bat after chasing out that powder. S&T though, that is the only thing left in that area where he does have other options that are more appealing to him at this point.
Looks like they're gonna go there now. I mean,
wow, great!
Good for
this
them,
is great for S&T!
but
oh man!
it's definitely, you're looking for help on the other side of the screen here. They are not ahead in this race. They are most certainly behind. Tam is gonna have, they're gonna have to give S&T a favor if S&T wants to catch up.
That is certainly true. So this seed has been just in general, right, remarkably fast in that we did not have to set foot even or in the area, right, of these 3 pendant dungeons. You know, like nothing in Mire. We don't even know where Quake is for that matter. We did not have to do anything in Swamp. We didn't have to do anything in Skullwoods. This has been a very fast seed, and you know, Tam is already basically trying to get up to Turtle Rock. Remembering, actually, this is actually quite the feat. Remembering that they do not have the hook shot, so they have to end up going to Turtle Rock the long way. Because normally, by this point, you probably have it, right? So you just kind of muscle memory into your way into East Death Mountain, and then suddenly you're like, oh yeah, let me go back up the other way.
So there's something going on the screen right now from SuperNinTaylor's side, and I think they have puzzled this one out. Well, yeah. All right, we have. I think we were on our way to Skullwoods, and then it was like, wait, I don't want to do that. And then I think maybe a quick double check of our notes, we realized, hey, I'm in go mode, but we need to. Our crystals are over here.
Ah, yeah, so that's right. Speaking of, so we have a fire rod, which means that we have a fire source in order to get back to the back of Desert Palace, which he somewhat tempted us into thinking that that he might have been able to go to the back without a fire source.
Now, admittingly though, you know, I did say that SuperNinTaylor is going to need help from Tam. We don't have a hook shot. You had mentioned before we do have to get across that Moldorm gap.
Yes.
Will, like, you know, if Tam struggles with that, you know, that could definitely give SuperNinTaylor time to catch back up.
That is certainly true. So I guess it depends. So it seems like hovering at least over the gap is probably most consistent, but you still have to be, you know, consistent at hovering. We did see that Tam elected to not hover hookshot cave. Whether or not they, never mind.
And there you go. You can just get the hook shot and turtle
the
rock,
hook
and
shot
then
looks super easy and right along the way because you know even though we need to go mode turtle rock, we still have to go find the big key. And in our path, look at what we found. We found the necessary equipment to easily get us past over that gap. So, I guess, like, do you think that Tam will actually just skip the outside and not, like, touch, like, Mimic Cave area?
have we found the big key already? I think so, right?
I thought we just saw it,
Yeah.
but maybe, because I saw something big in yellow, but that might have also just been Tam Sprite. Tam needs
I think we found the big key. Alright.
Oh, Tam, though, does need to be a bit careful. So, has Tam visited the potion shop out of curiosity? I mean, okay, so they did visit the potion shop, but did they end up picking up anything?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Yeah, so certainly, historically, Tam has been a very aggressive player. You know, certainly at least, like, in, like, normal seeds, spoiler lock seeds, like, even if they see armor, they'll usually turn it down. I mean, in this case, they had to kind of get it because Uncle, like, refused to, you know, take returns, you know, after his dying wish and all. So Tam, you know, had really just obligation to oblige, but, you know, other than that, like, Tam doesn't usually kind of go out of their way for safeties, and certainly not been surprised if that were the case here.
And we have been foretold that there was a fairy that was in the Big Bomb's supply shop chain there.
Oh, well,
yeah,
okay, so
because
at
we
least you got a
turned in one of our
bonus.
bottles.
Okay, so
I mean,
yeah,
that's basically like the perfect safety to have.
Mhm.
Though there is no lamp, so you do have to be conservative with your magic while you're climbing Ganon's tower. You do need to light, you know, 8 torches while you're up there. So if you spin your magic, you know, too much, and then you can kind of get yourself in a pickle and have to redo the GT climb.
Yeah, that one.
Outside of that, though, I will say too, it does look like, regardless, obviously SuperNinTaylor's death was not good. I do believe that Tam was still going to make it up to Turtle Rock faster than SuperNinTaylor, even with the death.
Yeah, I mean, Tam, this seed especially, has been playing quite well. Their execution has certainly carried them quite far. I mean, like, Tam has just been pretty ruthless in terms of just basically getting everything that they need to get done. We just skipped outside, right? That is what I didn't see from Tam. That was
And
really
with
nice
the
first key.
small key there, don't even have to worry about it not getting the 4% Turtle Rock today.
Yeah, no, that was super nice, and yeah, very convenient also for the first chest. Oh, unfortunately though, couldn't end up getting the switch to the second one, but it's fine. Tam's got Tempered Sword. Tam has basically gonna get full magic here, and should, you know, with Tempered Sword, all the rods necessary. I think this should be a well-practiced fight from Tam. S&T also showing that if you can get through Dark Turtles once, we don't need the Fire Rod in order to get through Dark Turtles again. I mean, you know, Turtles don't stand a chance, I guess, against him and that hammer.
Yeah, a little bit more hearts to play with, and then, you know,
Yeah,
also
I mean,
we have 2 potions as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think even if he never ends up using those potions, just the fact that they have them, right, just gives you that psychological safety. You can basically just do whatever you need to do.
It is a thing, it certainly helps. Yeah. Also, that's 7 crystals, so feel free to go ahead and get your guesses of where you think that GT Big Key is going to be.
I thought we were guessing for prices for a bushel of apples.
Oh, we gave away those apples.
Oh,
last night.
No, it's lunchtime.
You didn't win. I'm very sorry. We have to run a refutable business here. You know, can't just be giving out prizes for no reason. Also, can somebody scan the QR code on SuperNinTaylor's shirt right now and tell
Oh,
us
dude,
what it says?
what does that say? I didn't even notice. You think it's a discount for cat trees?
Yeah. That was the answer to the GT Big Key guessing game.
Wear an S&T shirt? Hmm. Both actually S&T, by the way, and Tam actually look pretty comfortable right now. Just they have 8 hearts and blue mail, so this should be relatively okay.
That kind of comfortable. I mean,
they also do look pretty comfortable, like, you know, at their homes, right? Like sitting there, you know, their clothing looks pretty loose, right?
Oh, okay. I was just thinking like facial expressions. Tam, they have not shown like any amount of comfort, if you ask me.
Oh, that is actually probably true.
They look very concerned. I may be misreading that situation as well.
You know, for what it's worth, while we do have these awesome webcams, you basically see like all our runners' reactions throughout SGL. You know, as the tournament has gone on, like deeper into the brackets, I feel like we just see more and more very focused, stoic, very like expressionless runners because they are so focused, right, to trying to basically perform at their absolute best. We haven't found anything, right, so far? We did Hope Room, and there was no small key, so we ended up going left instead.
I don't think, I don't think we found the big key yet.
Guess we're probably still searching, unless Tam, I guess, just really wants to up their collection rate.
Use 1 or 2 more hearts, yeah. Even with the big key and tile room, Tam will have a commanding lead. Turtle Rock is a very long dungeon, so SpeedGaming definitely miles away from getting into GT.
I am very still proud of these runners. I mean, the fact that they consciously remember they don't have hookshot, not only for the mountain climb, but also in this torch room, right? Like, how often do you just muscle memory into just holding up, right, when you're here?
Oh, every time. Like, I mean, you know, they showed that from the very beginning when they realized that they had mirror and escape, so...
Yeah. Alright, Tam is making further progress. I mean, they're making pretty fast progress into GT, so nothing in random room, so next stop is going to be right above Ice Armos. Oh, poor S&T. You saw the head shake, right? He was not happy. Yeah. He was not happy to see that hook shot.
Yeah, he knows he took that death to Helmet Thor, so, like, maybe hoping for some help, maybe, like, the hover seed maybe would be tripping up his opponent. And then, yeah, when you find it right there, there's no way your opponent's not getting that. Mm-hmm. It's like, actually impossible, so... there's a big key over there in Bob's chest. Best number, like, 1 million-ish.
Is that the is that the payout for how much we're gonna give the winner of SGL this year? Something like that?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And then if you happen to also guess chest 1 million-ish, you actually steal the prize fund from all of the runners and you get it yourself, but no one guessed it, unfortunately, so better luck next time.
I feel like maybe that little piece of detail might have been useful to know before we started the Big Key guessing game.
Oh well.
It's also just like the bomb shop dude, right? It's like, here, yeah, I'll sell you a big bomb for 100 rupees. Go open the store, and then we have to go do all the work for him, and then we just realize we just, you know, paid him 100 rupees to basically do his job.
This is an instinct-driven community, so you just kind of need to know these things without someone telling you. Tam in the wheelhouse right now just needs to stay clean through Ganon's tower, which should be fine. They have stayed clean pretty much the entire seed so far, so I would expect nothing different. Don't disappoint me, please. Yeah,
probably the closest that Tam had gotten to some unfortunate death warping was when they were in Turtle Rock, but luckily they had powder, which is actually really, really nice safety. It looks like Tam
and a fairy in a bottle.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, but you definitely don't want to, like, use that fairy, right? Like, it's somewhere in Turtle Rock. You probably want to save it for, let's say, somewhere here, or, you know, on Ganon himself.
Yeah, the peace of mind and the safety is always good, but then, yeah, just not using it just because it does take time to die and have, you know, this magical being that you've trapped in a bottle and hidden your, you know, stuffy pocket while you've been running up a mountain to, you know, bring you back from the dead. It just takes time. And, like, we're in the speedrunning business here. Oh, but...
So I guess we never found that lamp, huh?
No, though, you know, it could be in Swamp. Could be in Skull Woods, because again, we never even bothered to, you know, check even the front of that. Yeah, man, like, I feel like hardly any of these items were really nestled deep in any sort of item chain. It feels like everything was open and like available. I mean, I guess it would depend where the lamp was, because I think lamp came, but actually, now that I'm thinking about it, was it just fire rod that lock came? Actually, maybe it was none of them.
Well, I mean, so the lamp certainly does lock like some of the crystals, right? That we end up obtaining.
Right.
Yeah, but in terms of actually like items, I think you're right because Kano is in harmless Hellway, so and you don't need a lamp in order to get back there.
Well,
I guess
but,
maybe
mean,
depends on where the keys
small
are.
Keys.
Yeah, maybe
but I
depends
mean,
on where the keys are.
The small keys aren't in the dark maze, so that would technically only be locked by a fire rod. So, yeah, may have been a very low sphere seed.
Yeah, probably the only thing that, well, in this case, both runners ended up getting a Fire Rod Go mode was the fact that you did have to go to Eastern Palace in order to get your powder, and probably the most difficult part was not isolating Magic Bat in this case.
Right. Like, yeah, you most certainly could have, like, just hit this insane route where you just go mode everything, but again, you lost hardly any time in any of the dungeons because, like, Ice Palace was, all three items were, like, up front, no big deal. Thieves Town, you're just gonna do that, whatever. Eastern Desert, Hera, you weren't doing Hera with, you weren't waiting for the hook shot. I mean, maybe you could. That would have been crazy.
That would have been quite the that would have been quite the position. That was a really nice last cycle on Aga 2. Yeah, no, Tam's execution has been very, very strong this game.
Alright, all they need to do is finish Ganon. Still have the fairy. The magic's topped off.
And we've got
if they want to, they can...
Yeah, we've got 27 silver arrows. Hopefully we're not going to need that many in order to kill Ganon phase 4.
Yeah, we need 4. So 27 does seem like it should get the job done.
Yeah, that looks like as Tam is starting their phase 1 fight, S&T is going to enter in GT looking for his big key. Looks like a very similar route though, so because there's no small key, we're going to basically do Hope Room and then head on to the left side. I see Tam is taking no risks, basically pulling out that cave. I mean, you know, they don't want to die here. This is a pretty high stakes ending, and dying here would probably be a pretty significant loss. I mean, they do have the fairy, but again, you don't want to use it.
Yeah, I think they were...
Oh dear, Tam! Oh my gosh, Tam! Holy cow, how did that fire not hit you?
Just like one slash off, I think, from the 1-1, and got a little out of script there when they got bonked by the fire. Yeah. We have a fairy. Don't worry, just relax.
We are past the most dangerous part of the fight. We just can't get hit. Oh my gosh, Tam!
Okay. I winced on that one. That one actually got me. I wasn't too concerned about anything, but yeah, that I don't know how we survived that one.
I mean, maybe Ganon just looks fluffier than he actually is, but holy frick, or maybe Tam's raincoat is just that protected. But you know what? We are good. Tam is ready to cross this bridge and claim first place into this elimination match, knocking out S&T from the tournament of SGL 2021 and advancing on to the next round of brackets. Get your GDs out in for Tam.
Jeez.
What an amazing... What an amazing fight. Alright, looks like though, with that, S&T has been notified, presumably through race time, that Tam has indeed finished the race, so please get your GGs out in chat for S&T. Presumably this means that he has decided to stop.
Hello, GG.
Hello, Tam, GG.
Thanks.
I gotta say, looking at your facial expressions there after you finished, were you surprised by the result?
Yeah, I was. I'm kind
you-
of like, I mean, things went well, but it was so easy for me to imagine. You just do Magic Bat and skip Pyramid Fairy, and like the rest of the seed was so free. Like I just wasted a couple minutes doing that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, otherwise things were pretty good. Like it was straightforward with the bits in the mirror immediately to just do everything. I thought maybe like you don't go into Thieves Town and you don't get the bow for a while, but otherwise, I had a hard time imagining he did much different for a while.
SuperNinTaylor actually did skip Thieves Town on the first go around, but you basically did like the exact same things, but just in an opposite order.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that.
And they also took an unfortunate death in the Dark Turtle room in Pod, so you had pretty much gotten a really big lead from that. But I think even outside of that, you were probably still in good shape. But yeah, it would have been a lot closer outside of that. But you played phenomenal. Like
Yeah, your execution
you were
was really
not
good.
slowing down like on any screen. So
yeah.
My escape, I was like, I had some really unfortunate rooms in escape because I was like, this race was delayed because I had some issues and I was feeling like pretty bad about that, combined with being nervous for the race. So I was just in like not a great mood. But at a certain point, I kind of realized that I actually was executing decently, so we kind of cheered up a bit.
Do you have the ability to get across the Moldern 2 gap if you didn't end up finding the hookshot? I mean, it certainly looked like you were able to based on like the fact that you went to go mode basically after your fire rod.
Yeah, I can bounce. I have a moderate success rate with bouncing. I was pretty sure that SuperNinTaylor could offer, so I didn't think I could afford to look for the hookshot. It was really the way I went about it. So when I showed up, I was like, I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, you know. Luckily, the hookshot did show up in Turtle Rock, so no worries. We were, at least I certainly was, proud of the fact that you remember that you didn't have the hookshot going into Turtle Rock, also in George's room, so didn't have to waste any extra time.
I actually was holding up, but I guess I didn't get on the platform in time, so I had time to realize my mistake.
Nice.
So I almost didn't.
I guess, yes. Sorry, I guys had one more, I guess, minor question. When you ended up checking race game, any particular reason why you went into the door? Was it like
oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah, I did that. I did that mirror, and then I've done this so many times in cross keys, so I'm just gonna go in the door.
I didn't even notice that.
I walked in the door and I'm like, oh, it's a connector. Do I want to go through this? It could take me somewhere bad. And then I realized that I was really stupid.
It is a connector, that's true. It's like, hey, it's a vanilla connector. I wonder where it leads to.
I said I would have made fun of you.
There was one of the qualifiers for this that had a really similar situation where you had mids and mirror. And I did the same thing, except I didn't mirror it race game, and it was the bow. And I got a score of like 60 in that qualifier. So I had it very, very recently in my mind to mirror to race game.
When race game's a tough one, man.
Yeah, you're not the only runner. I think that race game having a bow as his prize has burned a runner.
Yeah.
So.
There was a couple of people in that one that got burned.
Alright, so with this, you do advance to the next round. Any thoughts about your next opponent? I believe that is Blaine. You may have heard of him.
Who?
Okay.
Is he
good?
If
you never heard of him,
I'm actually not familiar with him either. Can you tell us more about this Blaine person?
No, Blaine is terrifying. It's actually a rematch from last SGLIVE when we played in brackets.
You beat him?
I did win that, yeah, but
Because there was something on Catfish.
Yeah, something on Catfish. I remember that.
Okay. Alright, we're gonna hope that something's on Catfish, I guess, for your sake.
Yeah.
Straight to Catfish this time.
Straight to Catfish.
No, it'll be a fun race. It's like, obviously every race is going to be a tough race, but Boyne in particular is someone who's really, really good. So it's
Competition.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I was gonna say competition here for sure. At deep, it doesn't really matter like necessarily like when you start out the bracket, but I mean the deeper you go, like there is, I mean the competition it's just like you think you're facing a mountain, and then it's like you finally get past the mountain, and you're faced with like an even bigger mountain. Right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Just so good. It's great from a competitive standpoint. I mean, like at the community standpoint, the skill ceiling, whatever average, everything like that. It's awesome. I get to play the best of the best of the best, and be among, of course, the best of the best, right? To get to the cash prize at the end, where you don't really want hard opponents in your way, it might be another story, but I mean, we're here. We're just here to compete, right?
Yeah, a format like this, you need a certain amount of luck to make it very far, but you also need a lot of skill, so I'm just gonna hope to keep getting lucky, I guess.
They do say that luck is a skill.
If anybody says that you don't have to get lucky to like do well in a tournament with this setting, I got questions, man. Because yeah, outside like being good, that's the part that is like mandatory, and then like the luck is that other flavor that you have to have as well. Being good is just not good enough anymore.
I do feel that lately I've been feeling a lot better about my skill in terms of execution and decision making. So
you played like incredible, so please.
Yes, today was a very good example of why people should be very, very scared to face you. I mean, not only just because of today, but I mean like in general, it's a very good display of execution.
Thanks. Some parts were not that great. The Ganon fight was flawless, but yeah.
You didn't get hit on the very last phase, which I think we're still not sure how you managed that, but maybe this is what it takes in order to get so far into the brackets.
No, I have no clue either. I thought I got hit actually, and then I didn't react because I was expecting to die, but then I didn't. So I don't know. I had the fairy, so it was fine. But
how you didn't die in that upper left corner? That was like you were a magician in that one day. Sneak past him.
Alright, well certainly, I think, best of luck against Boyne, and certainly that should actually be a really, really exciting match. But of course, hopefully, best of luck to you in general, moving on to the next stage, basically, of SGL.
Thanks.
Any other thoughts, I guess, from you before we start wrapping things up?
Nothing in particular. Thank you for putting on the restream and doing the commentary and everything. This was, apparently SuperNinTaylor has never been restreamed at SGLIVE, so we tried to pick a time where he could get a restream.
It's about time, yeah.
That is great. We appreciate, actually, the flexibility, because we were also really looking forward to being able to do this race.
I'm sure he will be very happy of you, taking care of him on his debut restream.
Yeah. Glad that he got to die to Helm's Law, but it happens, like, we all die sometimes, so maybe he'll feel better when he sees my Ganon fight.
Yeah, cool. So thank you again, Tam. And S&T, if you're out there listening, for racing and allowing us to put on a restream for you too. It was certainly it's a lot of fun for us as well. No worries, S&T. We appreciate you here just being basically listening to us. And I guess if you have any questions for S&T, feel free to ask him in chat. So I think in terms of other SGL races, I'm not sure if there's anything that's officially on the schedule for a restream, but certainly keep your eyes out peeled because there are going to be more matches. They're just going to tend to pop up on shorter notice because we're trying to get through these matches as soon as we can. In case actually, if people didn't actually ended up noticing after Tam had completed, this seed, this very, very fast seed, was actually brought to you by LazyKid. And in fact, if you have more contributions to what you would like to see in that Triforce text, please go over to Matcherino. There is a link in chat for you can actually donate. Any contributions will be made for SGL 2022, but you can also come up with your own Triforce decks, and potentially you will be able to see it in upcoming matches that are going to be restreamed. I think that might be it. Thank you so much again, Linkforce, for doing all the tracking for us. Sorry you didn't have as much, I guess, things to do this particular seed, because we didn't end up needing that much, but always appreciate it for you clicking the buttons behind the scenes. And Ak, thank you, or Claremont, you know, whoever you want to be today. I look forward to getting our SG notepads in the mail, and then we can also just take this together.
Yeah, they should be coming. They should be coming.
Soon,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, thanks to everyone setting this up. Stay tuned. Keeping your eye on the schedule because the races get scheduled spontaneously, so you don't want to miss any of them. But yeah, I got nothing else to add.
No, again, just keep. I'm sure there's gonna be something else on this channel as well coming up. I think it's actually gonna be a league match for Link to the Past Randomizer. So certainly don't go anywhere. But until then, just keep watching and have a good rest of your day.